lot of good things and bad things
Okay.
about the union.
Yep.
But I'm a person where I want to figure out what's going on for myself before I really pass any judgment. And it just wasn't for me at all.
Okay.
So being in there and figuring out that I could have, they had me basically working just with metal alone, mind you.
That's not what you wanted to do.
That isn't what I wanted to do. That's something that you do when you first start out.
Yep. Yep.
I was on the technical end. You know, you're talking about someone who's running job sites, running getting permits, talking to GCs and things like that.
So let me ask you a question. Hold that thought for a second. Is it fair to say that The Apprentice is almost like a private sector entry-level job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That it's really where they want you to have skill set, which I feel like right there is a disparity, because it's how can one really get into the field or really know if it's for them? You already have that 1 year probation. Why can't someone just get into it?
Right.
And figure out if this is for them or if it's not.
Right.
And if you're doing a great job as a teacher and as successors, then you will know this is about to be a product of the union.
Got it.
And we're going to make sure that this person gets all the resources that they need so that we can say at the end, this is a product of us. We help this person, you know? And it really is an entry level, but the rate is really good. I think right now they start you off at $19 an hour.
Well, that's cool.
That is good.
Yeah.
And with medical, full benefits and things like that. And your medical doesn't get in full effect until 90 days.
So you got to work 3 months.
Yeah, you got to
Okay.
wait 3 months, and
Okay.
there's certain hours. But yeah, so that it's an entry level job. But
All right, cool.
it's good for someone who really wants for the next 5 years to set themselves out, because it's a 5-year program.
But it wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
Okay.
I know I have other great things that I
Yep.
have to do, and I just feel as a master sheet metal licensure,
Yep.
I can give an apprentice their license.
Okay.
In which I already did.
That's cool.
About 2 of them, and I didn't want to feel restricted, and
Got
I
it.
want to help give back to my community rather than take my time and putting in another 5 to 10 years
Yep.
into an organization that's really already set. There's my community needs me, so
Yep.
that's how I kind of put it. It's like I want to help the next person, and whatever I have to do, let
Got
me
it.
do it. If they're not giving them their apprentice license, let me do it, and let me monitor them and put them on job sites here and there, and go from then
Right
the
there.
union can't really turn you away
Okay.
when you have the
So
experience.
we're going to hold that right there. We're going to go to a break, and we're
Yeah.
going to come back, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to come back. We're going to take this break. We'll be right back.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. So we're going to get back into the discussion real quick. So I understand that you talked about your family having a business
Right.
in the trade that they're in. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So it was superheat and cooling.
Okay.
And I came up with a tagline: Cold Feet call Superheat, and they would. But
Hold
yeah,
on, did they go for that?
yeah, they
They
did.
did?
They
Okay.
loved it. Every
Good.
one of my clients loved it. They're like, "That's a catchy phrase. You might
It
have
is.
something going
It
there."
is
I'm
nice.
like,
It is
I
nice.
don't know.
Okay.
So they've been in business for about 17 years. They still are going on,
Okay.
doing a lot of residential, a lot of, we work with a lot of developers that they buy a lot of property and they'll flip 3 families. The last one we did was the biggest one we did was on D Street, which was 24 units.
Okay.
And
That's South Boston.
That's South Boston. That was the biggest one we did, and the union actually tried to come in on it. Yeah, one of them tried to get. This was before I was in the
Okay,
union,
all right.
and I said, I'm a small business, support small business.
Right.
It was fun, but yeah, Superheat and Cooling.
Okay.
So they're still in effect. I'm starting my own thing,
Yep.
V-Tech HVAC Solutions.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm basically going to start bidding on jobs, which I've already done. And last week I won 3 families.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
So with those properties, I'm going to take my apprentice that I have, and I'm going to bring him in. There's a couple of other people that are, waiting. I'm trying to feel them out to see if I want to give them the apprentice license, because one thing, I have to conduct myself as a businesswoman as well.
Absolutely.
And you can tell me that you want it and you really want it, but I'm going to stall just to see if you really come to me and you say, listen, this is what I need. We set up meetings, come meet with me. But if you call me and you say, oh, I had something to do, I know you're not serious.
Okay.
So there's a couple of people, but I have other guys that are lined up that I still keep in contact with that are HVAC technicians.
Okay.
And I just bring them in and we all work together and I basically oversee the job. And everybody always wanted to know, did I do my work in nails? Yes,
Okay.
I did for 10 years. And every time a nail would break, I would go get it fixed.
Okay.
But yeah.
So let's
that's
talk a
all.
little bit. We don't have that much time, so let's talk about the little disparities in the union with women.
The disparities with women in the trade is, we have a lot more than, I wouldn't say the men take on, but we have babies. Some have babies. We have different things that are going on. But it's like you have to be a tough cookie. And for me, I was looked at, they always tried to test me. It was like every day it was a test. And I didn't want to feel like I was being tested. I just wanted to do my job. The language is still an issue in the union. I'm more of a, I can be like a guy, and because I've dealt with men for so
Yes.
long in the trade that it doesn't bother me. But for another female going in, there's definitely an issue with
That
that.
strong backbone you got.
Yeah, that if they don't have that tough skin, then you can't even build it basically, because it would be something that it would just turn you away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the disparity as a whole, there's many disparities with the union. A lot of it is generational, because you have companies that are already in there, and they have family members and people that they want to get into the union, and there's a thing called organizing, and
Yes.
that's how I went through. And it's like the back end of the application process. But you have non-Boston residents filling those jobs.
Okay.
So if it's a job that requires a minority, you can get someone from out of the city that's an African American that's filling that quota. You
Got
can
it.
get a female from out of the city and that's filling that quota.
Okay.
So you're really still not tapping into the inner city of Boston. And there's not a lot of females. Again, another disparity is the amount of awareness that they bring and the amount of resources that they provide
Okay.
for people in the inner city. It's, you guys have a housing crisis, but all these buildings are going up. You have the job issues going on, but yet you have all these these buildings going up. It's like there's jobs going on.
Right.
But how can one get into the union without all these issues?
Right.
You have to sit down for an interview. They don't want to discriminate, but you're sitting down for an interview.
Yep.
So either way, it's still tough. Yep.
Stop right there for a second. we are out of time, but guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring you back another time.
Yeah.
I promise we're gonna bring you back and you're gonna get a whole hour to yourself. So with that being said, this is another episode of Work to Do. And thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so
Thank you, my
much.
crew, Christopher West and Paul Malachi. Thank you, Paul Mullins. Thank you, Leroy. And thank you, Ashley. And we're
Thank
gonna
you,
have you back again
everyone.
real soon, okay?
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Work to Do. I'm your host, Reggie B, and this is our second half of the hour, and we're gonna get right into the discussion with our second guest. And our second guest, her name is Faithlyn Scarlett of Faith Naturals, and we're gonna get right into it because we're gonna do that, and she's been waiting very patiently, so introduce yourself.
So my name is Faithlyn Scarlett. I'm the founder of Faith Naturals.
Mm-hmm.
And Faith Naturals is an all-natural and organic product line for skin and hair care.
Okay, so my first question for you, Faith, is why did you want to get into this type of business for yourself?
Well, it was out of pure necessity. So when I was young, I suffered from chickenpox, and as you know, chickenpox leaves scars.
Mm-hmm.
So as I got older, I became self-conscious of the spots. So I would be nervous to put on a skirt or a short dress in the summertime. So after spending a lot of money on products that wasn't working, I decided to try it myself. So after researching ingredients and what it did for the skin, I started combining those ingredients together. And gradually I developed a good formula that was working for my skin.
Okay.
And so that happened, and then my son, he suffered from eczema. And as we know, eczema is probably one of the worst skin issue that there is.
Yes.
And one day, we went to the doctor's office. He had a bad breakout to the point where his skin was oozing. And so I broke down in the doctor's office and I was crying. I said, Dr. Raphael, look at my son's skin. Like,
Right.
What can I do? I tried every cream you guys gave me. I tried everything. And so when I went home that day, out of pure frustration, I just took the body butter and I put that on his skin. And so I noticed, like, you know, for that night, he slept a little better. He wasn't as itchy. And I continued doing that for a while, and gradually I was like, wow, this is really helping. And so even with that, I was like, you know, sometimes you hear that voice of reason or the voice